Here we go again. This is the second attempt, and this time it says RH on the box, so it should be the right thing. Starting to get the hang of this now. This chappy, and the inside here, which is all the goodies are. So, manual as before, good to have. Pop that over there. You know, styrofoam, whatever it's called. It definitely, positively says RH this time, so we should be good. We should be good. So, the bits: undefined, pass number 1. My favorite power connector type. Oh, that's probably the Wi-Fi dongle and stuff. That's going to be interesting to have a look at later. The Allen screws, a pin, an Allen key, and then of course the counterweight bar over there, and then of course the mount itself. And this might be a challenge. Let's see if I can do it this time. Last time it didn't work too well. Right. Let's unlift this. The normal brake is disengaged by default. Will be a bit exciting to lift this up on this. I can disengage them straight away. Well, let's give this a try, shall we? Yeah, exactly. Great, really good start. That's the brake. Well, hopefully it's heavy enough to withstand my clumsy unwrapping. Right. Okay, I believe this is roughly the configuration you would expect. Pop my telescope on there, and yeah, well, this is very much the beginning. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to pop this on the ground and just have a look at the additional things, and then we're going to have a more proper look at the mount itself in a little bit. Right, so let's have a look at see what we have here. Okay, so a bit of cable management and an Allen key there, and this is this is the one that you used to actually do the polar alignment, and the 2 adjustment knobs, of course, nice green ones. Oh, that is a green color. Very nice indeed. So that's what we got there, and then yeah, this power cable will be reutilized or repurposed perhaps, but we got this connection here, of course, which is going to be important to get right. So yeah, I'll probably rejig that a bit. I read that it prefers up to 18 volts, I think. I'll go back and check the specs, but I might have a dedicated power supply just to make sure that the DC provider is as accurate and close as possible. And this I believe to be the Wi-Fi. What's this in Lenovo? Right, so I think that's a bit cheeky to have a Wi-Fi connection, and then a USB cable here. So that'll be interesting to see how we set that up. And then, not entirely sure what this might be. Okay, so we've got twisted bells. Is that the Wi-Fi? That might be the Wi-Fi adapter. Well, I can say that conclusively, we can say that's the Wi-Fi adapter. So we'll work on this one. I'll figure it out. Lenovo, laptop, desktop, something. Right, so we've got that as well, and then the manual, and then the counterweight bar, which, I mean, I love my EQ6, but when you look at this, it's just, you think, what have I got myself in? Oh, so that's the toe protector. The one I have for the EQ6 is certainly much smaller than that. Oh, that's actually metal, so not only the metal knob as well, actually. It's pretty cool, fantastic. Right, and then of course the manual. What do we have in the manual? Just have a quick look. All right, so this might be the first clue here about the USB. I'm going to drill into that a bit more, but there's been some discussions about USB 3, the support of USB 3. There are also some questions about the power provided by the mount, and a few other things that it's going to be really interesting to figure out, because there's been some confusion around that. And I do believe that SkyWatcher most likely are developing the mounts based on feedback from the users, one would hope, and I know they do. And yeah, I will have a look in this manual, and then we'll do some testing. Awesome, fantastic. So now I have a chance to read the manual and read this sheet of paper that was included. It seems a bit like obviously an addendum. And what it's saying is it gives you an idea about synchronization. So now I had a chance to have a little look at the manual and also the paper that was included to suggest using the included USB hub. And my first thought was that this seems like a bit of a workaround, because providing a USB hub with a mount that provides a USB hub, but I don't think that's the case. So I've had a bit of a look, and we have up here USB. So that's part of USB hub, and they are USB 3 according to the manual. Then we have USB 2, and then we have USB 3 again. So the way they suggest you hook this up using the provided hub is that you connect the USB 3 hub through the USB connection. So that's kind of USB in, whatever you would call it. And then you, in order to kind of connect and time out, you have this hub where this goes into, and then you got a fairly long cable that you hook into the system. So it's USB 3, USB 3, USB 3, and then the hub is USB 3. The only thing that's USB 2 on the system is this port here, and that's, as you might say, recognise from the EQ6 and so on, would normally be the serial USB interface that you use to control the mount. So that's what I'm assuming what it is, and that is what they're suggesting in the instruction as well, that you connect to the USB hub, and then you got all the USB communications you need, both for the hub and all the equipment, but it also includes the control of the mount. So I will test this, but this is my theory, and I think it's just provided to provide a convenience. A bit unexpected, but I'm not complaining. It certainly doesn't look like a workaround to get around the fact that it's a USB 3 incompatibility in the system. So yeah, next step will be to test this. Right, so I now hooked up the mount and I connected in a way that normally I'd not run it, but I just really wanted to check out whether USB ports are working properly. So I got my Eagle computer run here, and normally everything will go into that, but what I've done is that I've just got one connection into USB 3 port, and that connection goes to the hub that was provided, Lenovo hub that was provided, and into that I connected it to USB 3 port on the mount, and the USB 2 port that goes into the guiding as suggested by the manual. So to the RH mount or EQ8 mount hub, I put firstly the USB 3, definitely, completely, definitely, absolutely USB 3 from the ASI 294 MC that I have, and then I also got a connection to my ASI 174 which is 2.0, but the ASI 294, is definitely USB 3. So this connection here will have to be USB 3 to work properly. So that's kind of my test. So yeah. And actually I have not powered out the mount yet. I cleared everything, so if it goes completely haywire, it will not destroy itself and my walls and my house and explode. So yeah, so I will now switch it on. It's going to be quite exciting. So I hooked up the mount and I connected in a way that normally I'd not run it, but I just really wanted to check out whether USB ports are working properly. So I got my Eagle computer run here, and normally everything will go into that, but what I've done is that I've just got one connection into USB 3 port, and that connection goes to the hub that was provided, Lenovo hub that was provided, and into that I connected it to USB 3 port on the mount, and the USB 2 port that goes into the guiding as suggested by the manual. So to the RH mount or EQ8 mount hub, I put firstly the USB 3, definitely, completely, definitely, absolutely USB 3 from the ASI 294 MC that I have, and then I also got a connection to my ASI 174 which is 2.0, but the ASI 294 is definitely USB 3. So this connection here will have to be USB 3 to work properly. So that's kind of my test. So yeah. And actually I have not powered out the mount yet. I cleared everything, so if it goes completely haywire, it will not destroy itself and my walls and my house and explode. So yeah, so I will now switch it on. It's going to be quite exciting. So now it's switched on the mount, and I am running my Eagle computer in a way that I normally don't, because it's normally a hub for the most things. So I only got one single connection, a USB 3 connection that goes into the hub provided with the mount, and that hub is connected through USB 3 to the mount and USB 2 to the mount control. The other connections I have is a USB 3 connection directly from the ASI 294, and I also got a USB connection from the ASI 174 but that's actually a USB 2.0. So this is the key one, the connection that goes to the 294, because if this mount would not be able to provide full USB 3.0 support, the ASI 294 MC would not work. So let's have a look in Nina and see what we can see. So the first thing I had a bit of a problem with was that I was running on my old COM port, and I was at 9600, and that did not work. So what I had to do is just go into the device manager, and in the device manager it is telling me that if I go into the ports and COM ports, it's telling me that I've got a prolific PL238. Okay, this prolific. Let's just remember prolific on COM6 in my case. And that is the port that is being emulated by the mount. So this is what you need to connect to. So COM6. So I connect to COM6, and I originally had 9600. That is the baud rate you use when you communicate with a handheld controller. If you communicate directly with the mount, you need 150,200. As soon as I just change that and obviously put the right COM port, it connects beautifully. Yep, absolutely, yes, yes, yes. And you can do a bit of parking as well. Yep, accept that. So that's us connecting to the mount, and then I've got the camera going here as well. This is one that goes through the ASI294 USB hub. No, sorry, the mount is. This is one that goes through the USB 2.0 connector directly to the mount, and obviously it's not happy, or there's not very much happening in the first place. So let's connect all devices in Nina and see what happens, because as I said, the Eagle computer is not the spider in the web anymore. It's connected with one single USB 3.0 to the USB 3.0 hub in the mount. And well, as you can see, apart from some grumpiness from PhD2, which I've grown accustomed to, obviously it's still working just fine, it's just been a bit angry with me. Everything has connected nicely. So from where I stand, or the only thing I can say is that from all intents and purposes, connecting a single USB 3 to the hub on the mount will give you full connectivity to USB 2 and USB 3 devices, and I've not seen any problems so far with this. So whatever has been discussed out there, it might just be that the latest version of this mount has been fixed, because I don't see a problem here. If I'm missing anything or haven't done testing in whatever way might be needed to fully kind of like put this to rest, please provide comments. I'm more than happy to just do the testing again and see what I can find out. But from my point of view, it seems that the USB 3.0 works like a charm. At least it works for me. And I'm happy with being able to integrate this in the most efficient way possible. So yeah, that's good news. Just one more thing. Being used by EQ6 and what it sounds like, and everything, I know that mount backwards and forwards. I've taken it apart, I've done belt conversion, I've done zero backlash upgrades, I've done absolutely everything. I've taken that thing apart so many times. Every single sound it makes, I know exactly what's going on. Listening to this mount is absolutely amazing, so I just want just listen. It warms my geek heart, it really does.